Hello my friends, my name is Ryan Freeman and we are off on another motorcycle adventure. This time we are going to head out of the city and I might do a little hiking. I'm not sure if I'm going to split it into two videos, but I'm going to go ahead and try to fast forward to the point where I'm going to fill up on gas and then we'll really hit our journey off as I start to leave the city. This might be a long one, so buckle up and make sure you hit like, share, and subscribe. Here we go. Okay, we are pulling up to the gas station and I'm gonna fill up and then we will be on our way. So one thing to know. 你好，家门。92。什么？可以，可以。130块。好。载具有吗？载具没不要。给你发票不要。谢谢你。Okay, so yeah, gas stations are not self-service here. Oh, let me close my windscreen so the audio doesn't get too bad. Sorry, I'm just getting in the hang of it. I've been sick and tired recently. I'm going to go ahead and tell you all about it, but gas stations are cool. So I wasn't completely on E. I just spent 103 Taiwanese dollars for gas, so that is roughly $3.30 American. Now usually when I go all the way down to approaching empty, I will have to spend about 120, maybe a little bit more. It's never really much more than $4 to fill up the tank of my 125cc scooter. Forgive me for calling it a motorcycle earlier. You know, in America, we tend to differentiate between motorcycles and mopeds, motorcycles and scooters, but here in Taiwan, they're all called motorcycles, which I think technically it is a motorcycle, but it just feels wrong calling it that. Now, I've driven motorcycles before. I had a 250cc Kawasaki Ninja. That was my first one back in my, what was it, 28 or so, 29 years old. And then I had a 750cc Kawasaki Vulcan, which was a cruiser, the exact opposite type, back when I was about 30-ish, I guess, 31. I don't know, around that time. And I like both of those bikes, don't get me wrong, but there is something about the scooter. I like sitting upright. Now, I will say that this helmet that I'm wearing, and I'm wearing this helmet, it's the safest helmet, but I'm really wearing it so that I can film and be able to talk. Oh no! I just went through a red. Okay, but no one saw that, right? There's a dog on the side. So anyways, I like sitting upright, and I don't need to go that fast. I do need to be a little bit more cautious with this helmet. That's what I was talking about. I need to be a little more cautious with this helmet because of all the extra protection. I have a little more of a restricted range of view, a little less comfortable. But I'll tell you what is comfortable is the wind. It is noticeably cooler this week compared to last week, compared to 2 weeks ago. Taiwan is really hot and it can get quite cold, but there are some windows in the spring and fall, quite short springs and falls, but some windows where it is quite comfortable. I have brought a sweater and a pair of long pants just in case it gets a little cooler, particularly on the ride back, I'm guessing. It is 2:23 p.m. I had a kind of a late start, but I had a couple things I needed to do. I needed to see the physical therapist about my shoulder. I had shoulder surgery. Sorry guys, if you're not in the mood for a long talkie video, this is the wrong video for you, because I've got a long drive and no one to talk to except you. Anyways, I had shoulder surgery in April, and it's mostly gone really well. I'll be talking more about that when I do my 6-month update. But I had physical therapy, then I met my girlfriend. We had breakfast together, and then I was actually planning to go on a longer drive to go do a little camping. I had this spot picked out, and then when I checked it, just as I was getting ready to leave, it said it was closed. And then I tried to call them, and I got an automated voicemail, and I said, the stars have not aligned. I'm just gonna go. I just want to get out of the city and get a little exercise, get some blood flowing, have a little adventure. So this is not bad. And a nice, decently long scooter ride and maybe a little hike, I think, is a great idea. Now, if the camera seems like I'm moving it around a lot, it's just because I gotta check a lot of things. All right, I gotta make sure I'm going the right way with Google Maps. I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. It looks like I'm gonna be on the street for a while. Need to make sure nothing's falling out of my bag, and got to make sure that I check all of my blind spots. Yeah, so all right, I'm gonna go ahead and talk about why I said I was sick and tired recently. It's true. Good week to be sick and tired, though, let me tell you. I have no work this week. This is a Wednesday. Almost every teacher in Chiayi is working, but not the teachers at my school. At least most of them, because the students, the school, we are on fall break. There are holidays around this time, but no one really gets a whole week off. We do, because our school, the one I work at, is an experimental junior high school. And what that means is our school has freedom to deviate from the normal calendar as well as the normal curriculum somewhat. I've talked to teachers about what exactly it means. One of my coworkers said she thinks that perhaps the main difference is we try to give our students a lot more projects than just test preparation. One of the big criticisms of the standard curriculum, I'll get back to why I'm sick and tired, but one of the big criticisms of the standard curriculum for junior high school students is in Taiwan is that it is so test focused, and not just junior high school students, but junior high school, high school, and it's just study for the test, and we do a lot of studying for the test at my school, much more than you would see at an American school. Let me get past this woman. I'm gonna take it easy, but sometimes you gotta get past people. Now, okay, when you get past people, normally in America you pass on the left. Here in Taiwan, you pass any which way you can. I still try to pass on the left, but if it seems safer to pass on the right, I will. People just do what they can to get through. So yeah, we still do a lot more test preparation than you would see in an American school, I'm sure. but compared to, let's just say, a normal or standard Taiwanese junior high school, we do somewhat less. We give them more special projects. That's at least what the official line is. Some people might not like that. Some people might not like that because they want their child to go to the best school possible. So they might not want to send their kid to our school because it's not all about preparing your kid to get into the best high school. It's about giving them a more well-rounded experience and giving them interesting opportunities. It's an experimental junior high school. Some people like that. Now, when I was talking to one of my coworkers, she said some parents were asked, like, why did you choose our school? Like, or what's the most important criteria for, like, asking, I really cannot lose concentration because, some people will do left turns in front of you when they shouldn't, or when they look like they're about to. Bumpy. But we are out of the city. The thing I like about Chiayi is you can get out of the city pretty quickly. We're sort of like entering rural place, and you can sort of see, you can't really see with the camera, but there's the silhouette of the mountains up ahead. A big concern for a lot of parents these days, at least parents in our city, Chiayi City, is they want their kids to go to a school where they will have a good relationship with their classmates. So when this coworker, this teacher who's been teaching in Chiayi for many, many years, told me that, she said she was so surprised because she thought the main concern should just be to prepare them for to get to the best school possible, to have the best education. But actually, no, what parents really care about is, at least the ones that were asked in this particular situation, what they really, really care about is their students having a harmonious life, and sure enough, I don't know if they'll have me do it this year, but last year, several times I met with parents. I gave like a little 5 to 10 minute speech, and I listened to some parents and heard their questions. And, one of the questions that I heard was, is it easy for students to make friends? Is it a friendly atmosphere? I think that's not a bad sign, to be frank. A pleasant school life is certainly something to be said for. I'm not saying that it's not important to get good grades and get good test scores, but a nice experience is quite important. And at our school, there's only 20 students per class, which I think is probably, and it's a small school, so there's very few. Look at these wild dogs. A 3-legged dog over there. There's very few unfamiliar faces at our school. I think it's really fills a niche in the market. And believe me, it's a market. It's a market. Schools market themselves. They're constantly posting on social media, constantly promos, trying to promote their school, because there's just a lot less students today in Taiwan than there used to be, and so these schools, it's a supply and demand. They want to attract students. And that has shifted power into the students and the parents' favor. And students, a lot of teachers feel students don't really respect them as much anymore. They're less respectful. Parents are less cooperative, and I said, well, I think the same thing can be said in America. I don't know about today, but I've always felt that the job of a teacher, the respect that teachers get has generally declined. Not only in Taiwan, but also in America. Anyways, so we have a week off. We've got a whole week off, and the first weekend I had a nice time with my girlfriend, and then I ended up buying a barbecue, a Taiwanese barbecue. You'll see the last couple weekends ago, you just see barbecues for sale in every store you go to, because the big barbecue holiday, which is the full moon holiday, which was this past Monday, it's a sort of a tradition that people barbecue so this last Monday, so just a couple days ago, but seems to be people barbecue all weekend. So I bought a cheap barbecue. Cost me 1,000 new Taiwanese dollars, which is like $33. It's just an open barbecue, not so big but not too small. Got some coal, got a blowtorch, bought some steaks, and me and my girlfriend were barbecuing. I think it was Saturday night, and got some steaks from Costco, and boy, oh boy, did that turn out good. Yeah. I gotta make a left here. Here we go. Here's the thing. You would think 43-year-old American from California, where we have backyard barbecues all the time, you would think I would be well versed in the art of cooking up meat over a flame. No sir, no sir. I was never entrusted, never taught how to barbecue. And because I never bought my own house in America, I never ended up having that experience, whereas my brother and my older brother, my best friend, they all got barbecues. And I was just always a guest. But it's been on my mind, I like cooking, actually. And here and there, I've gotten some tips, but, for me to learn, I really got to do it. But when I was barbecuing with my girlfriend, she really paid attention to how her brothers and her dad barbecued, and she sort of took the lead and sort of shuffled the coals around and was fanning the flames, and she really was more like the man behind the grill, at least in the initial part. And then I took over putting the steaks on. We just put a little salt, little pepper on these delicious juicy steaks, and I wasn't overly optimistic about how it was going to turn out, because this was my first time barbecuing steak, and I had a trial run with the barbecue the week before, which did not turn out well, with a different cut of beef that was too thin, and I overcooked it. So with these juicy steaks, I just wasn't sure how it was going to turn out, but let me tell you, they turned out so good, and my girlfriend said it was the best steak she's ever had in her entire life. And I gotta say, it was good. I didn't overcook it, and I didn't undercook it. It was a nice medium rare, and we didn't overseason, didn't underseason. But I have to say, I think that the difference was just the quality of meat. It was just a good cut of meat. and didn't make any big mistakes. And I couldn't believe at how fun it was barbecuing, how delicious the steaks were. I mean, I don't even think I could buy steaks that delicious at a restaurant in Chiayi. Okay, so now we're starting to get up into the I don't want to call these mountains, but we're going up, and it looks a lot more lush. We'll probably go through another town area soon. Anyways, so yeah, so that was Saturday night. And then on Sunday, she took me to her family's barbecue. Her family. So that was kind of a big thing, you know. It was her mom's side. Her parents are divorced. Her parents have been divorced a long time. She lives with her aunt on her dad's side. So she lives with her dad's older sister in the countryside. And her dad lives like just down the street, and she sees her dad all the time. She's really close with her dad's side. Doesn't see her mom's side very often. I met her mom twice before. Met her older sister once before. Met her uncle once on her mom's side, but haven't spent a lot of time with them, and that was a long time ago. And she kind of has how to say interesting relationship with her mom and her mom's side. We wouldn't call them very close. And I said, "Are you sure your family's going to be happy to see me?" And she said, "I don't even know if they're going to be happy to see me," she says. I was like, "Oh boy, I wasn't expecting it to be great, you know." But I went in with a good attitude. So me, my girlfriend, and my girlfriend's 3-year-old, about to be 3-year-old son, we go to her mom's house, which is in the countryside as well, and really cool, down this like dark, narrow road. And her mom lives right across from a farm, and it's super quiet, secluded. And we just show up, and there's people barbecuing there, and there's her family. And my girlfriend just drops me off with her son just because she needs to go park. And so I just hop out and walk into this barbecue with her son, who just got back from spending the weekend with his dad's side and just woke up from a nap and was quite grumpy. And they all yell his name, "Tai Tai, we want to see you." And he's not in the mood. And so he's just sort of clinging to me, the only white guy who they kind of know of, but they don't really know. And he's just clinging to me. Everyone is so friendly. They want to see him. And eventually my girlfriend gets there, and I start to meet people, and they are, as the Chinese would say, or the Taiwanese would say, "How could," like very hospitable, very friendly. You know, what do you want? Meat? You want seafood? Whatever you want. You want some alcohol? Well, here's some Hennessy. And you want to try this really nice Gaoliang, which is basically a baijiu, which is like sort of a, I don't know if it's a rice wine, but it's a very strong liquor, local liquor. I mean, you drink it, it tastes like jet fuel. But luckily they put some water in it for me. So I've got a glass of Hennessy that they keep topping off. I've got a glass of baijiu. Well, I guess baijiu is it, but Gaoliang, which they keep topping off. Both of them are strong as hell. Got some steak, but I didn't eat enough, I think, and everyone is so friendly, and everyone is cheersing me. These guys just start getting me drunk, and they're doing fireworks. They get out just these immense. Well, they've got all sorts of fireworks. They got a big pile of them. They say they have a rivalry with the neighbors across, like a half a mile away, across this huge tract of farm, and the neighbor, and so they have like this rivalry to see who can do the biggest display, and you can see these huge fireworks going off across this vast expanse of darkness and distance on the other side of this farm tract. And then now it's our turn, and they're just setting off these big bombs, man. Huge ones going up high with these little super mega loud explosions. And Tsai is, he's starting to get out of his nap, but now he's scared of this, but he's intrigued by fire, and who wouldn't be, right? What little boy wouldn't? And then they get out the sparklers for him to use, and they even had Roman candles, and so he's shooting off Roman candles, and they just got so many fireworks. I've never seen just one family have so many. Meanwhile, they're still Ryan, cheers, and they give me betel nut, which they call binglang. Oh, it says go right here. I don't know about this. Okay, I'm going down this road. I don't know. What am I doing? I'm taking Google Maps, and I'm hoping nothing crazy jumps out like monkeys or wild dogs. But I should probably just do a little double check. Make sure nothing screws. Yeah, oh yeah, this is it. Cutting down a wild road. So now I'm chewing betel nut. I guess I could have declined, but you're meeting her family and all the males. I'm sitting with her uncles, her girlfriend's boyfriend, and all of his henchmen. I'd say henchmen, they're his workers. Oh, wow. I always get nervous when I go into these small rural areas because I just hear about these wild dogs that chase people, and they're gonna know I'm not from this area, right? But anyways, in for a penny, in for a pound. So I'm not the type of guy who is afraid to try anything, right? Well, some things I will not try, heroin and things like that. But betel nut, it's a legal drug. It's a seed, a nut that you chew. You don't swallow the juice. You sort of just let it sit in your mouth and then spit occasionally, almost like chewing tobacco. It's about as filthy as chewing tobacco, and it gives you a sort of a rush, sort of makes you warm. It warms you up. I had done it a couple times before, just like one nut, to try. Okay, so I'm going up this wild road up here. Oh wow, this is a steep road. Woo! Wow. Really off the beaten track today, eh? So I'm chewing this nut, Hennessy, Galeon, and then he gives me a cigar, and I mean, I'm getting pretty damn high and tipsy, let's just say. So it's like this little narrow track. I really gotta make sure to be careful, just in case any other scooters come. Wow, look at this. A car couldn't even fit here. Just 2 scooters could barely fit. I mean, what a road, eh? All right. And then now, we're back on a somewhat bigger road. Oh, that was fun. Okay. Yeah, so I'm getting tipsy. We're doing fireworks. I'm meeting her mom. Her mom wants to call me by my Chinese name, Xiaoyao. Meeting her grandma. Everyone's having a blast. I had told Flo I was really tired. And I didn't really want to stay too long. So I'm like, is it okay if we just go for a little bit? She's like, yeah, no worries. Just stop by, say hi, and go. Well, apparently she kept saying, hey, are you ready to go? Are you ready to go? And I was like, no, I'm good. I was having too much fun. I had too much fun that I actually blacked out. And that is something that does not happen to me. I'm going to get off, let this guy go past me, because I'm more of a slow driver going uphill, especially in unfamiliar roads. So it was my second time blacking out in Taiwan. Now, when I was in my 20s, and even before my 20s, I used to black out almost every time I drank, because I drank too much and eventually lost consciousness. And I'm very fortunate that nothing very bad ever really happened. But it was such a scary feeling blacking out that I learned, I guess you could say, how to temper my drinking, how to not go past that point, because I was just done. I had too many moments where it could have turned bad. So I tried really hard to learn how to not go past that point, and have been fairly successful. But the problem is when the conditions are just right, like this barbecue on the full moon. First of all, whoa, little cute dog just jumped out. And her family I'm meeting for the first time, and I want to be as friendly as possible. Whoa, we're going this way. Okay. And I am just having so much fun, and everyone's having fun. The merriment is very high. The mood is just right. So I end up getting absolutely plastered, blacking out, and well, let's just say I wake up the next morning. My girlfriend cooks me breakfast. I'm still pretty drunk, and I had some apologizing to do to her. I was really nothing terrible, but I was a naughty boy, I guess, on the ride home and when we got back. Nothing terrible, but she had to sort of keep me safe and clean up after me, shower me off. Anyways, the only other time I've blacked out in Taiwan was when I met my coach's coach in Kaohsiung, and we went out drinking to 7-Eleven until 3 a.m. And it was such an honor to meet the guy. He's basically the best black belt, best coach for sure in all of Taiwan in jiu-jitsu. I had heard about him for so long, and it was just such an honor to meet him and talk to him about jiu-jitsu as well as all these other subjects. And it was such a good mood, such a high mood after we had all trained, and I didn't eat that night, and that was the other time. So like I said, I have the capacity just to overindulge if I'm having too much fun, and I've had to learn how to not black out. But if the conditions are right, it's unfortunate, but it does happen. However, I'm going to be on my guard because I did not enjoy that hangover the next day. That hangover the next day, beyond having to apologize to my girlfriend, that hangover the next day was nasty. I thought about doing hair of the dog and drinking in the morning, but I didn't. Sort of suffered through it. Ended up having a good nap, and my girlfriend took such good care of me. Then had a coffee, went for a run, and then ended up feeling better. But actually, even the next day, which was yesterday, I still felt a little shaky. Still didn't sleep much. I mean, there's a lot of stuff that happened last weekend. I'm not going to go into everything, but you got the broad strokes. It was a lot of barbecuing, drinking, eating, meeting people. Oh, I guess I passed the character test. Those guys at her uncle's and sister's boyfriend, they said they really liked me. I passed their character test. So that was good. Now, why I said it was her uncle's, this sister's boyfriend and henchman, the guy is pretty much a gangster. He's maybe not a gangster. I don't think he hurts people. I hope not. But he's got the people who work for him, they treat him like a mob boss. And his line of industry is somewhat shady. And he wants to take me to his city, Taichung, which is also famous for gangsters. He wants to take me to Taichung to play for a guy's night, which I would imagine is gonna be really, really wild and crazy. And I said, I don't think my girlfriend would like that. He's like, hey, man power, guys night. And I'm like, well, I think the guys night that you have planned is gonna be very different than guys nights that I'm used to. Anyway, not to say that my friends in California don't party. But, am I going the right way? Yeah, this windy road. Anyways, it was good to pass the character test. It was good to see her family. I had so much fun. I was so glad I went to the barbecue. And I really loved it. And the hangover was actually worth it. I really enjoyed that weekend. But, okay, here's an interesting thing. It was at my girlfriend's mom's house, and well, apparently she got really angry. Not at me, but at some other people at the party, because they weren't. I don't even know if I should go into this. It's sort of family drama. Yeah, I'm not gonna go into it. That's too much. Let's just say, it was a very joyous party, but there was some family drama and shit talking going on. But I hope to see them again. Yeah. So it looks like I'm about 17 minutes out, going up this windy road. Now, I've had a few mountain journeys with my scooter, and they're all kind of like this. The thing I like about this one is there's really not that much traffic. I say that as I see cars coming, but there are some roads where, like, especially the 18 road, the road number 18 from Chiayi City to Alishan is highly trafficked. Although, so my girlfriend's family, they live along the 18 and they sell cookies to tourists who are coming to Alishan or leaving Alishan, and the tour guide will stop there and get a little kickback for all the customers that he brings. And her family has had a very successful business. But with the recent typhoons, I don't know if it's damaged the road conditions or people have been afraid to go to Alishan or whatnot. They've been having a little tight business recently. So it's kind of something. But I think it's starting to pick up again. Which Alishan is one of the most famous mountains in Taiwan, one of the most famous scenic areas, which I still have not. I got to the entrance on a foggy day, and I didn't go inside because I was wet, cold, and didn't have much time. But I will go back there. Me and my girlfriend keep talking about doing it. It's just really about doing it at this point. But you see, I just like getting out of the city, and these little roads are very fun. Not having to worry about traffic lights, not having to worry about traffic. Taiwan is such a crowded country in the cities that it is nice to come out here. By the way, if you guys are still here this far into the video, please let me know. I have no idea if anyone, even my most devoted subscribers, will actually wanna watch or listen to something like this. But I'll tell you what, talking has actually made the time pass by quite quickly. Yes. Okay. So what else? What else can I talk about? Oh, I have a friend coming over this Friday, which I will interview for YouTube. If any of you remembers, 2.5 years back, I interviewed 3 Taiwanese middle school students when I had long hair. And I interviewed these 3 friends. And I think it was Kiwi, Florence, and Eng. And I asked them questions about what it's like being a student, and thoughts on Taiwan and China and America and all of this kind of stuff. Oh, it's getting beautiful, guys. And well, one of those students has kept in contact with me. After he graduated from that junior high school that year, he ended up moving to Germany and doing high school in Germany, because remember when I mentioned at the earlier part of this video about all the test prep and focus on tests? Well, his dad just has never liked that part of the education. His dad's an amazing guy and just sort of made it happen to help his son get on another track. And his son has been doing, I think, pretty well. I see him on Instagram. I'll put up his contact information on that video because he's planning to come over Friday. And now he's, I think, a junior in high school. Maybe, yeah. Maybe a senior even, I don't know. And he's not that adorable kid that you first met, if you've been following the channel or if you went back. He was in my Jesus in Taiwan video as well. He's one of the actors in that. One of the main driving forces behind that. He's a really incredible kid. So he comes back every summer from Germany and asks if we can meet up, and I say yeah. So I'm gonna hopefully have him over Friday for a barbecue. Cook up some more of those steaks. The air is nice and cool. The sun is bright and warm, but not hot. Pretty much ideal temperatures. I will not be videotaping on the way back though, guys. Sorry. I'm just going to enjoy the ride. And I don't even know if I'm going to have much time for a hike. But we shall see. We shall see. It'll be nice. Although it's not a very clear day, so in this camera I don't think it's really good for zooming far out. I don't think the view is going to be gorgeous. That's unfortunate. Probably a day after it rains, it would be nice. But today's the day I wanted to go, so let's go. Alright, last bit of good news, and this is sort of the biggest news. So if you waited for the juiciest stuff that you didn't know you were going to get. So, here we go. If you've been following my channel for a while, you know that I was once married to a Japanese woman, that we had 2 kids. The first one in America, where we lived together. And then the second one was born in Japan while I was in America trying to get to Japan. There were some issues why I couldn't get into Japan. Not going to go into that. And our marriage dissolved while I was in Taiwan. Dissolved while I was in America. I moved to Taiwan to get closer and to try to... In fact, you know, at the time my ex-wife said, you couldn't live in Asia again. You couldn't be an English teacher again. I know you, Ryan. Because I was an English teacher a long, long time ago. I said, yes, I can. I will prove it and get you back. So I moved to Taiwan to be, even if I couldn't get into Japan, I'm going to Taiwan and got a job as a full-time English teacher. I say, look, I did it. And not only did I did it, but my school says I'm the best teacher they've ever had. I love it. So let's get back together and start our life right, you know. I miss my daughters. I miss them terribly. There was a time when all this first went down, I would just bawl up in tears every day. It just didn't work. I mean, my ex-wife was done, okay? When a woman's fed up, no matter how hard you try. There's song lyrics and that I've heard once before. Wow, look at that bridge up there. We might be walking on that bridge. So I've tried to keep a good relationship with my ex-wife. She divorced me without my signature, although I consented, because I'm not, you know, if you want to be divorced, okay, I'm not going to stop you. But she divorced me and said, you just start a new life and without me and the girls. I said, I'm not going to give up on the girls. Please, please, please. Just, I want to see them. They're too young to go to America, she says. And I tried every year to try to, I'm like, I'll fly you to Hawaii. I'll fly you guys to Taipei. I'll fly you to America. Because just please. She's go, they're too young. They're too young. Basically just very cold to me. Eventually apologized and just said, you know, when they get a little older, I will take them to America or let you take them to America. I have no mandatory child support, but I've been sending money every month to help with their education and cost of living, but and also to just keep the bridge open. My mom has visited them in Japan. My older brother has visited them, so there is a bridge. But you know, after I posted on Instagram pictures of me and my current girlfriend, the bridge got a little wobbly. I don't know why, because she's the one who told me find a new woman and start a new life. But anyways, after I posted that, the bridge got a little wobbly and she became less communicative. And I've just been trying to repair, just trying to be as supportive to her as possible. But she finally was like, you know what, Ryan, you could take them to America last summer, she said. And then she ghosted me. And then I was like, okay, how about fall? Can I see them fall? Yes, you can see them fall. And then she ghosted me. Ooh, so this is a cool bridge. I want to go on this bridge. Here's something that looks like you once were able to park here and go here, but not now. And Taiping. Oh, here's like a little temple, and there's a little hike right here. So, I'll tell you what, we'll just go ahead and see if I can park around here. Service Center, Eugene Road Trail. And we'll just end it here. I wonder if I can pull my scooter up here. I'll just pull it right here. I think that's fine. Okay. So I'll finish this story and then go for a little walk. Because actually, I'll tell you what, we'll finish on the bridge. How does that sound, huh? Yeah, because it looks, I hope that bridge is open. We'll walk up together. So I'm just going to take this helmet off and then we'll start it again. 1 second. Okay, now I have my helmet off and I probably have some marks on my head because that helmet is so darn tight. Even though it is a double XL and the largest helmet the store had, for whatever reason, the helmet store, which is basically the highest rated helmet store in Chiayi, with a pretty big selection of large helmets, said that my head shape, foreigner's head shape, is not the same as Taiwanese. This looks like a really cool slide. I don't want to get stuck in there though. I'm going to go up these big steps right here. All right, so I just want to finish that story. So basically, after all of this drama with the divorce, with losing my daughters, and as sad as that is, and sort of her openness and her lack of communication, and me sending money, I'm gonna go this way now. Oh, another interesting slide. I'm gonna go back this way. I was basically at a loss for what to do. Talk to my mom, talk to my dad, get their advice, talk to my girlfriend, get her advice. Well, I thought, you know what? Let's see what happens if I don't send money for 1 month. Not that I send a lot, but let's just see. So I didn't send her money. And then at the end of that month, she says, hey, can you send us money? And I said, oh, I would love to, but could you please communicate better with me? You know, it really was hard for me when you stopped communication and canceled our plans. Oh, I don't have money and I need a ticket. But it's closed on Wednesday. That bridge is closed on Wednesday. What a day to come, huh? I mean, because look how amazing, only $100, but look how amazing that bridge looks. I want to be on that bridge. But maybe because it's Wednesday, there's less people here. Oh, well. It was more about talking with you guys. So anyways, I said, you know, I would love to video chat with them. I had asked before, she had ghosted me on that. And she says, okay, thank you, send money. We'll video chat. And I was like, oh my God. I've been only looking at their photos on Instagram, whatever she posts. And now I'm finally gonna be able to video chat with my daughters. And so later that day, we video chat for about 20 minutes. And, you know, I've got a 5-year-old, my daughter Alice, who I raised for the first year and like a little less than a year and a half. And then my 3-year-old Francesca, she'll be, I guess 4 in next month, and who I've never met. And Francesca was kind of shy and curious at first, and then she kind of started doing her own thing. But Alice, she just took control of the phone, and she was just smiling and laughing, and we just had the best 20 minutes together. I talked a little with my ex-wife, and she did a little translating between me and my daughter Alice. Alice knows some English words. She does get some English, as well as Francesca, but not enough to actually be able to talk to me. And we just had so much fun. And I'm like, man, it almost feels like she remembers me, or the connection is still there. It's a girl I think about every day. I've got her pictures on my fridge. I almost kiss them and worship them as a shrine for the last several years. And it seemed like that connection was still there. I've been having dreams about them before this happened. And I asked her, I was like, do you remember me? And Yukiko translates it, and Alice says, yes, I remember you. And it was just, wow. I don't know if that's true. I don't know if she just remembers a story about me, or I don't know, but the connection was amazing. So this was basically the happiest, most mind-blowing moment I've had, in a long time, because it's like I almost, with how the relationship is going with me and my ex-wife, it almost got to the point where I thought, she's ghosting me now, and she's going back on promises. I might never see my daughters now for years and years, and who knows if ever. And then suddenly, I was video chatting, and Yukiko my ex-wife was friendly, or at least polite. So yeah, basically mind-blowing and amazing. And I'm going to try to hopefully just keep that bridge, keep that relationship. I never wanted to be a video chat dad, sending money and not seeing my kids from afar. I wanted to be a hands-on, raise them myself type of father, teach them jiu-jitsu, teach them English, teach them my joy for adventure, teach them everything that I love. But I was not, unfortunately, fated to have that opportunity, at least with Alice and Francesca in the early part of their life. But if I can see them, if I can build a relationship and see them more in the future, that's my goal. Anyways, thank you guys for coming on this long ride and this very short hike. I'm gonna stop the video here, and I'm going to ride around this little area and see if there's another trail, and I might just do a little hike from there. But that's it for this video. It's long enough. If you watch the whole thing, tell me in the comments below. Give me a huge thumbs up. I will see you next time. My name's Ryan. Bye-bye.